What's going on, everybody? Seeley here. Today we're going to talk to you a little bit about lighting. So here's an image that I shot last week shooting a behind the scenes. It's the most recent video that I uploaded and wanted to break down the lighting just a little bit more. So what you see here is a 3-light setup. It's a pretty standard lighting setup, but I wanted to kind of break it down a little bit more so you knew exactly what each light did. The settings I had 1/200, f11, ISO 100. And I used 3 lights. I have the key light here, I have a accent light, and then kind of a fill / accent light on the camera right side as well. Over here you can see exactly how the lights are placed, and let's turn on one at a time so you know exactly what they do. For the key I had the Flashpoint Explorer 600 Pro, and we have this light here. Now I did have a 48-inch octo with the grid on it. You have the key lights over here going across. I want to make sure that the face is lit up. And then camera right, I have an accent light that goes across the core. So with the core, and this actually has a grid on it as well. With the core, what I'm looking for is, let me back this up. I want to make sure that the light is out enough to where I can actually see the center line. If you put the lights too far behind, it's going to turn more into a rim light. For this shot, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to bring it around enough so I can see the definition in the core, and I want to make sure that I can see some definition in the quad as well. So the light was placed approximately there, and it was tilted down. So this is going to ensure that the core is lit up, and then if you look at the quad, I want to make sure that I had an accent on the outer leg, a little bit of shadow on the right in the middle, and then this light here is from the key light. And so ideally you want to try to get a highlight shadow, highlight shadow, highlight shadow, as many layers of highlights and shadows as possible, and that's going to add to the definition. It's going to add to the model looking more three-dimensional, which when you're shooting fitness you definitely want the model to have volume, if you know what I mean. And let's go over to this light back here. And then that light, the purpose of this light here is to separate the glutes. So if you look here, that nice edge on the back, and then it's also going to separate a little bit underneath the arm as well. So you can definitely do this with just 2 lights. Like that would definitely be enough. When you're shooting fitness, the thing that you want to focus on most is the core. You want to make sure that the 6-pack really looks really super defined, and by having the lights off on both sides, just make sure that the model faces the light towards the key somewhat, so that way the face looks nice. A pretty simple 2-light setup, adding a 3rd light to give it a little bit more pop. If the rim light is out to the side too much, take a look at how the highlights, now the highlight wraps around more onto the quad. That does a couple different things. One, it takes away from the definition because you're filling in all those shadows on the quad, and 2, it makes the highlight area a lot bigger, which is going to run the risk of drawing the eye down to the part of the body that you really don't want it to be. And so if you move this light back to where it was, just creating a nice sliver of light on this side here, it's a nice touch. And if you look at the inside of the leg, the inside pops a little bit just like this does here. It's going to add a little bit of pop. It's mainly just about separation, to separate the model from the background. And some of the common mistakes that I see is when the key light is too far into the front. So if you take a look at the core, it flattens the image a lot more. It's going to add a bigger highlight right across the chest. And so if you're taking a look at this picture now, where my eye goes first is right there in the middle. The face looks nice. The face looks really, really well lit. But the widest or the lightest part of the image, in this case her upper chest, that's what's going to draw my focus, and it actually takes away from showcasing all the hard work, which is her core. If you slide that back to where it was, now as it's going across, the face is still lit nice. Now it evens out the tones across the chest. Now your eye isn't drawn so much to a part that doesn't have a lot of muscle in it. There's thousands of ways that you can light someone with muscles, and so this is definitely not to tell you that there's one way of doing it. The challenge I have for you is experiment, play around, make sure that when you're shooting fitness models, you definitely see a muscle first. Hopefully that helps. If you found this interesting, please leave a comment down below. Please give a like and consider subscribing if you have not done so already. Stay tuned for a bunch of posing guides to help you level up not only your lighting and your posing, but also your business skills as well, so you can start making more money. Until the next video, keep shooting.